Hey, what's up, y'all? Will here at Schedulefly. This is the Restaurant Owners Uncorked podcast, brought to you by Schedulefly, restaurant employee scheduling software. Super simple software, legendary customer service. Hey, listen, if you're on pencil and paper or Excel, or if you're on one of these expensive softwares with tons of bells and whistles and data and features and all kinds of stuff you don't need and you don't use, we'll make life easier for you, and we'll take great care of you. Schedulefly.com, 30-day free trial. We'd love to serve you. Also brought to you by our wonderful sponsors, Pop Menu and Kickfin. Now, this is a bonus episode. These are short episodes. No way I'm going to put an ad in these things, but I highly recommend checking out the show notes. Links to both of those companies are in the bio. They're great businesses. They have great products, and they take great care of their customers. Pop Menu and Kickfin. Now, let's get to the story of the world-famous Riverside Market. So, probably 7 or 8 years ago, I got a chance to visit the original Riverside Market. I think there's 3 locations now, down in Fort Lauderdale. Went down there with Luke Pearson of Lift Films. He's done all of our film work. We've made some great videos over the years. It's been a while. Luke is phenomenal at what he does and does this full time. And well, he's gotten expensive, as he should. And so it's a big investment of time and energy and money to make these films. But if you go to schedulefly.com and check the media page, you'll see some examples of how good his work is. And it's only improved. I think the last film we did, The Story of Sup Dogs, which is a great film, that was probably 5 or 6 years ago. But I digress. So we go down to film at Riverside Market. And we wanted to share the story of this place and how unique and special it is. And we knew it was unique and special because I had interviewed Julian Siegel and Lisa Siegel for this podcast, for our second Restaurant Owners Uncorked book. And some of the things they talked about just seemed amazing. So we fly down there and we show up. And as soon as Luke and I walked in and kind of scanned the room and looked around, we said, man, this place looks like us. This looks like what a cool, welcoming place. It's an old convenience store. So you can imagine you walk in on the left wall, all the way from front to back, there's glass doored coolers. And in those coolers at this point, now it's the Riverside Market, not a convenience store, it has beers, lots of beers. Over 500 different types of canned and bottled beers. There's tables where people are hanging out and eating pizza and some of the other things off the menu. And then right in the middle of this place, there's some couches, several couches just right in this little squared off area, and a table where people are sitting and hanging out and eating and drinking beers and just relaxing, welcoming, people laughing, people smiling. This is like the middle of the afternoon when we get there too. And so we wound up hanging out there all afternoon, all evening, and we came in and filmed the next day. But Luke and I both sat there and we were talking. It hadn't been that long, and we were like, man, this is like every community needs a place like this, a place where you can go and it doesn't matter who you are, what you do. As they say there, you got billionaires hanging out with like tatted out skateboarders. I mean, it's just everybody feels very welcome. There's no pretension, and it just feels like home, right? It feels like you're going to a place where you can kind of kick back and relax and feel like you're at home. Well, the reason I wanted to share this episode is specifically about one of the things they do at the Riverside Market. If you're ever in Fort Lauderdale, go. But here's one of the things they do, and they were doing it back then, and I was really curious if they were still doing this. I was telling somebody about this last week, and she said, I wonder if they're able to still do that, because, I think I said I had been down there. I mean, it may have been, 2014, 15. It's been a long time. So yesterday, I was actually speaking to one of the folks at Riverside Market. They called and they were updating their credit card for Schedule Fly. So it was just a coincidence. I had been talking about them last week. They called to update the card, and I'm talking to Joni. And I'm like, hey, Joni, do y'all still do the honor system? She's like, you bet we do. Now Joni's been there. She was there when I was down there. She's GM there. Works for Lisa and Julian, is incredible. And I was like, you still do the honor system? She's like, oh yeah, absolutely. And we talked about it a little bit, and I was telling her the story of how I had been, relaying that to somebody recently. And they were curious if it was still possible to do that in today's time. So here's the honor system. Y'all check this out. This is amazing. You go in there, and again, they've got these glass doors on the left side, and you go and you grab a beer and you sit down, and you're hanging out, and then maybe you go up and you grab another one. The honor system is this. You let them know how many beers you've had when it's time to sign out, and that's what they charge you for. If you and your buddy had 8 beers, and you pay for 8 beers, and you tell them you had 8 beers. They do give you like they give you 6-pack cardboard beer cartons to put them in to help kind of keep everything in one place and keep count and all that kind of stuff. But it's an honor system. You let them know how many beers you had, and that's what they charge you for. I want you to think about that for a minute, and think about how welcoming and trusting that feels. And that was one of the things that drew me to want to go experience this, because I said to Lisa Siegel, again, Lisa and Julian Siegel own this place. I was like, yeah, but don't people take advantage of that? She's like, sure. Yeah, some people do. She says, well, like 97% of people are trustworthy, and they appreciate being trusted. So if 3% take advantage of that and that walks out the door, we're willing to live with that, because what that does for the 97% of people that are trustworthy, when you give them the opportunity to show that they're honorable and that they're trustworthy, they love it, and they want to come back, and they want to come here often, and they tell their friends about it, and then their friends want to come back and they tell their friends. And that is how Riverside Market became the world famous Riverside Market. They have an honor system. They treat people the way they would treat them if they came into their home. Go grab a beer, have one, enjoy it. Of course, you wouldn't charge them in your home probably, but you get the point. That's what it feels like. It feels like you're at home, and you want to keep count, because you are honorable, because 97% of us are honorable. And we want to say, yeah, we had a big night. We just had, the 3 of us just had 16 beers. That's what people want. And if you can find a way, again, don't worry about the 3%. It's going to go. It's going to happen. Worry about the immeasurable impact of the 97% of people that want to feel trusted, that have that experience. And here I am all these years later, remembering that and talking about that on a podcast. I love that honor system. If I ever had my own place, I hope I would have the courage to implement it, because what that does is immeasurable and meaningful and story-worthy. Thank you all for listening. A couple of back-to-back bonus episodes. We've got more long-form, normal episodes in the queue, but this was on my mind after having that conversation with Joni yesterday, and I wanted to share it. If you are ever in that area, go to the Riverside Market. Again, there's 3 now. I've only been to the first one. When I was there, they only had 1. They call it the OG. And make your way down there and hang out with Lisa and Julian and Joni and all the great folks there. One more thing I'll add. Joni told me yesterday they still use the short films we made about the Riverside Market with Lisa and Julian talking about their culture and how they operate the business. They still use those films when they hire new people. I mean, again, these films are many years old, but they haven't changed the foundation and the core of what that business is about in all these years. And so they still show them those short films. And what she told me, and I love this, she said, of course, it's rare that we do that because most people, when they come here to work here, they never leave because they love it here. Think about that. Okay. Thank you all for listening. Love having you as an audience. Appreciate you listening to this content. And if you ever have any thoughts or feedback, anything you'd like to share, I'm super, super easy to reach. Call my cell phone, 704-906-2031. Call me, text me. Happy to rap, happy to chat, and happy to listen to your input. Y'all have a good one. Hey, y'all, before you sign out on this episode, a couple of quick things. Number one, if you listen to us on iTunes, if you could give us a star rating and a comment, it would help so much. Same thing if you're on Spotify, follow us, or any platform that you're on. If you would just do whatever their rating or follow options are. What that does is it tells the algorithms that this content is good and meaningful and valuable, and it'll tell them to put it in front of more people. So thank you for doing that. If you take the second to do that, that'd be so awesome. And also, if your restaurant is either using Excel or you're using some software that's expensive and has a lot of bells and whistles you don't need, or maybe doesn't have great customer service, we'd love to take care of you at ScheduleFly. Simple, easy restaurant employee scheduling software, legendary customer service, 30-day free trial, schedulefly.com. My cell phone number's on the trial sign-up page. Thank you for listening. See ya.